Once you get to a certain stage in your life, you start to realize that some other mistakes cannot be made, bro, whether you like it or not. That's why when we were still young, when we were still getting into school, starting school at the primary stage, we used to use or utilize pencil together with a rubber or even an eraser to erase some of the mistakes. But as soon as you level higher, as soon as you pass to the next grade, to higher grades, that's when you start to transition from using a pencil to using a pen, which is a symbol that means, or that simply means that part of the mistakes that you are still going to make cannot be erased. They are there for life. They are there as a blueprint. They are there as a history. That's why I emphasize this example to say you can make so many mistakes when you're still young, but as soon as you get older, you start to realize that there are other mistakes that cannot just be made, or even some other mistake that cannot be made, which comes with having to level up, which comes with having to grow. It's part of growth. Whether we like it or not, we cannot run away from that. That's the reality that we're living in. And it's all comes down to how responsible you are as a man or even as a woman to take responsibility of your own mistakes, to take responsibility of your own actions. Once you start doing something in life, you need to think twice before you do it. That's why they say think before you do, not say do before you think, because if you think after doing, you start to regret. You have so many regrets. You start to realize that you made so many mistakes. Others might not be changed, but that's part of life. And I'm not saying that you should avoid mistakes at all costs, but the point that I'm trying to deliver to you, or the message that I'm trying to deliver to you, is that as soon as you start making those mistakes, you start to realize that others cost you a lot, from your time, money, relationships. You start to lose a lot of people just because you made one single mistake. You start to lose a lot of connections just simply because you made one single mistake that even a 5-year-old couldn't make, but you made it. But it all comes down to we are evolving as human beings. We are not perfect, and we're not supposed to be perfect. The term perfectionism is an illusion. Everyone who seeks to be perfect does not understand the full even the whole experience of life, because it's all about learning. It's all about evolving. Part of human evolution is making those mistakes, which turns into lessons. If you learn from your mistakes, that's the simplest way to evolve. That's the simplest way to learn. You remain the student to the game. You remain the student of life. We are constantly learning each and every day of our lives. I'm not here trying to be a saint, trying to be appearing as one being who's actually perfect or even a saint. No, that's not how it is. I make mistakes. Some others I can feel like I made very stupid decision here, but I keep on making it. Why? Because I understand that part of having to live the life that I want to live, I need to make those mistakes, which are part of the lessons that I actually need for the next level in my life. I'm supposed to evolve, and when I make those mistakes, I learn a lot, not only from what the universe is teaching me, but a lot from myself. I learn what's my phobia, what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, and I focus more on what I'm good at. And that's why I excel in most of the things that I actually invest myself into. That's why when we work on a certain project, or even a collaborative project with other people, they can tell you that I always bring out the best, because I'm a competitive person. I love competition. And Me being a competitive person I don't mean it in a rude way. I don't mean it in a I'm looking for this way. In an arrogant way. I mean it in terms of I need to bring the results, whether good or bad, but I have the results. At least I've tried. That's why I laugh, because I know that's my motto. That's the drive behind what I do. What I do, it is just this burning desire inside of me. I don't understand if a man of my age doesn't have this burning desire to achieve, this burning desire to accomplish stuff, because that's where I feel like proud of myself. Not only proud of myself, but proud of at least I was into something. At least I was up to something, not just up to something, but at least I've accomplished 1, 2, 3 by having to have this burning desire inside of me that is constantly pushing me towards higher heights. I'm seeking to improve each and every day of my life, which is why I have what I have today. Even now, I'm about to work, and I've set this goal, this crazy goal for myself. I said that this week I'm going to make $1,000, and I'm going to make it, and I'm making it. Why? Because I've set this standard for myself. I know this is very challenging, because this is something that I've never done before, but I'm willing to do it. I'm going all in. So it's all up to you as a man, or even as a woman. If you feel like that's far-fetched, that's for you. But for people like myself, I highly believe that I can compete in any competitive space, because I understand this life, it is player versus player. If you are not getting it, the next person is getting it. And I understand that part of me having to do, or even accomplishing this goal of making $1,000 a week, it is going to come with a lot of challenges. Those challenges do not surpass the feeling of having to accomplish that goal. That's the mentality behind how I'm going to accomplish it. And I know I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I know I'm going to make so many crazy mistakes, but that's not what drives me. What drives me is having to be at that point. It's the feeling of having to accomplish what I said I'm going to accomplish. It's having to be where I said I want to be. And you can also do the same. If people like myself can have this burning desire, you too should have it. Why not you? And we should strive to actually produce results. Me in my circle, I don't like consumers. I love people who produce stuff, as I'm already a producer. I'm producing content. I'm going to produce the results of $10,000. I'll come back on my next YouTube video. I'll showcase you the results of how I managed to accomplish that $1,000. And do not ask me how I'm going to do it. I'm going to explain on my next YouTube video how I did it and how you should do it too. We should strive to progress. We should strive to make the best out of life. And throughout the course of doing that, we need to understand that we're going to make a lot of mistakes. Those mistakes doesn't define who you are. It simply it is a symbol that symbolizes that you're up to something. At least you're trying something. At least we have a potential of having to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish in the very first place. So I'm not sure if you did happen to find value in what I've just shared with you on today's video, but if you did, please let me know in the comment section on what value you picked out in this video. Also guys, for more life-changing information, there is an upcoming book titled To the Leader in You by Duncan Mnesi. I'll leave the link to the book on the description box. On that note, if you're new into this YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and press the notification bell so whenever I get to upload, you will be the first one to be notified. On that note, I'll see you guys on our next YouTube video. This is your boy Duncan Mnesi. I'll see you guys on the next one. Do not forget that mistakes doesn't define you. You will be defined by what you did best, not what you did lose. See you on the next one.